It's amazing how many of the companies we most closely associate with the icons of gaming give up on making good games of their own. Because this week we learned that Sonic the Hedgehog, one of the most famous gaming mascots of all time, is resorting to making appearances in Minecraft to stay relevant. But then again, we did also learn that Sega and Sonic Team are taking another run at making a 3D Sonic adventure in 2022. So maybe there's hope for the plucky blue speedster beyond making movies that only succeed when the world's economy tanks. And that's just one of the things we learnt this week. And lucky for you, I know a couple of guys who learned 10 more things just for you. I'm Lorne. He's Cyril, the sexiest man this side of the 8-bit plane.
Hi, Jesus, God.
And here are 10 things we learned this week.
That seems inappropriate.
This week, I learnt that shock and horror, people who are not young anymore, were once young, and people who have mustaches once did not have mustaches, as not only do set pictures from the upcoming Uncharted movie show that Sully is going tashless, but that Nathan Drake was once not as old as he is portrayed in the games. Damn you, Father Time, with your continuous march to the sweet release of death. The image obtained via the New York Times is of tashless Mark Wahlberg, who plays Victor Sullivan, and Tom Holland, who plays Drake, inspecting a room with no signs of either man rocking some top-lip shrubbery or even any face fuzz for that matter. There's even 2 seconds of the movie itself floating about. Not a big deal, you say. Cool, now you're the guy that gets to tell Henry Cavill that the internet didn't lose its collective marbles this time. And no, you can't distract him with a semi-built gaming PC. This week, I learnt that delight comes hand in hand with disappointment. Because in other gaming movie news, savior or saboteur of Star Wars, depending on who you ask, J.J. Abrams, decided to tickle the pickle of Portal fans by admitting that a script is ready to pitch to the folks at Warner Brothers. Quote, "We actually do have a script that's being written for the Portal movie now. We're really excited about the take and the pitch, so it feels like the thing's finally on the rails." However, when asked about a potential Half-Life movie, he decided to keep with the time-honored Valve tradition of utter indifference to the project. It's like he totally gets what fans of Half-Life want to hear. Yeah, we could make a movie, but no, we won't make the movie though. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. A lot of gaming-related movie news this week, isn't there? Well, why don't we change it up with some movie-related gaming news? As this week we learnt that Netflix wants to be the Netflix of gaming. Or at least that's what the information is reporting. Quote, "Netflix wants to hire an executive to oversee new gaming efforts, and the company is considering a bundle of games similar to Apple Arcade." But if Netflix wants to be the Netflix of gaming, does that mean that the Stadia wants to be the Stadia of calamity? But then again, if gaming content doesn't work out for Netflix, they could always go down the route of Conor McGregor, The Rock, and of course Ryan Reynolds, and start peddling hooch. Because this week we learnt that Netflix's Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, the new animated TV series coming soon to the Netflix of gaming, is going to celebrate its release with Cocalero, a herbal spirit, and an official Resident Evil drink line. Yes, that's what I want. A herbal drink inspired by a franchise about a virus ravaging the population in the midst of a global pandemic. And they said Corona's marketing was too on the nose.
Wait, hang on. Did Sony just steal a fan-made logo for their upcoming God of War sequel? This week we learned that the answer to that question is yes. Well, probably. Let's just say that it definitely looks like somebody at Sony Googled the God of War Ragnarok logo when making a PlayStation 5 press kit. It turns out the logo they ended up using was from Mike Lemieux's Twitter account, and not even the official logo. Because there is no official logo yet. Or even a name, which is why everybody was so surprised when it showed up in the press kit. In case you were thinking that this was some kind of confirmation, it's not. Sony has since edited in a more generic God of War logo. Yeah, Kratos would not approve.
This week I learnt that game developers are not without a sense of irony, because this week we learnt that Rockstar Games is going to be starting its own record label. Rockstar, do you get it? Do you get it? They're called Rockstar like the musical term. They're collaborating with Circo Loco to create a brand new dance music label, with many of its associated acts already a part of GTA Online as part of its After Hours and Cayo Perico heist updates. Who knows, maybe someone in the music industry will take a run at releasing a games console to utterly disastrous results. And maybe a plucky little gaming news show covered such a story. So do us a solid and go back and watch it for us. Would you? Please, pretty please?
Who knew that this was going to be such a big week for Sonic the Hedgehog? Not only did Sega announce a brand new Sonic game coming to all of the next generation consoles, but also Sonic Jewelry. Of course, the real news this week has nothing to do with this sweet Sonic watch, because this week we learned that Sonic & Knuckles will finally be getting a proper port. Alright, so while Sega has been good about porting the first 3 games, Sonic & Knuckles has been left out of most of the compilations. In fact, it's been absent since 2011, that's 10 years ago. But now it's coming back in a new Sonic Origins collection, complete with all the connectivity to the other Sonic games. That's big news, but what would be even better is if Sonic packed in all those other forgotten Sonic-verse titles. Like those Game Gear exclusives, that weird Sega Sonic arcade game, and maybe even Knuckles Chaotix. Yeah, let's not get our hopes up.
Are you a PS4 or PS5 owner? Are you looking forward to Borderlands 3 coming to your coveted console? Well, too bad, because this week we learnt that despite originally getting ready to enable crossplay on all platforms, support for Borderlands 3 on PS4 and PS5 has been pulled. The reason behind this remains a mystery. However, Andy Pitchford, who released a statement, attention whore that he is, claimed that the move is due to a certification issue. And when has Randy Pitchford ever been anything less than trustworthy? My money is on a game-breaking glitch, but I'd also take bets on being a backhander for exclusivity. Any takers for me?
Did you know that I just posted a review of the new action game Heidelberg 1693? Well, if you can't get enough of Castlevania wannabes, then you're in luck, because this week we learned that Koji Igarashi is hard at work on a brand new sequel to Bloodstained. This was nonchalantly revealed through a company graphic, which also brags that they sold more than 1 million copies of Ritual of the Night. Hey Konami, how many copies of Castlevania have you sold in the last 2 years? Oh yeah, that's right, none.
Finally this week we learnt that developers on both ends of the spectrum have very different ideas on how to utilise their assets. Because this week we learnt that Epic Games has previewed a new tech demo showcasing the power of the Unreal Engine 5, attempting to showcase the phenomenal cosmic power in the itty bitty tiny living space available to gamers in the future, promising quote, bigger worlds, brighter worlds, and worlds that feel like something we've never experienced before, and worlds we could have never dreamed of, such as those seen in this demo, Lumen in the land of Nanite. Meanwhile, an indie developer has sought to ignite those same fires of awe in gamers, wielding the godlike might of the Unreal 5 engine by creating a 10 billion polygon rendering of his dog. Now, while that might sound a little underwhelming, as you can see, the results are actually pretty cool and serves to demonstrate not only the power at a developer's disposal with Unreal 5, but also demonstrates the huge potential among small developers as well as AAA studios to produce a generation of content that will astound and amaze gamers new and old. Who knows what other wondrous advances will be made in the next generation of consoles and gaming technology? Perhaps fully immersive 3-dimensional gaming will be a reality. Maybe Elder Scrolls 6 will actually drop. Or perhaps gaming will unilaterally unite the world in a utopia of peace and tranquility. But to be honest, I back that last one happening before Bethesda releases Elder Scrolls 6. But we'll have to wait and see if I'm right. Because that, gamers and gamettes, was 10 things we learned this week.
Hey, thanks for watching Lorne and I learn a few things about the news this week. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post one of these every week. We're also gearing up for major coverage of the upcoming E3 in just a few weeks, so you'll definitely not want to miss that. Now, here's the question I have for you. What did you learn this week? Well, this week I learned that Hudson couldn't stop changing poor Tina's name in the Adventure Island series. Seriously, the person that came up with Genie Jungle should have been fired right on the spot. The same day. Alright, let me see what you learned in the comments below. In other news, we have a packed week in store for you, including a massive look at the Virtua Fighter series. We're also going to be tackling another Game Over episode and reviews of both Crossbow Crusade and Hentai vs. Evil. Yep, that's a real game. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,